We got 4 different armor types in Dune Awakening: heavy, light, stillsuits, armored stillsuits, and we do have the shield. Now you would think as a melee player flitting around, you probably want to have light armor, and as someone who shoots guns, you want to have the heavy armor to soak up darts better. That's wrong. Let me break it down for every armor type, and also what I am wearing to dominate MK6 areas with my MK5 gear in the deep desert. What's the big difference now between light and heavy armor? And that is the armor value and the damage mitigations. Heavy armor always has more armor than light. This is a duraluminum jacket with 375 and the same duraluminum light comparison with only 236. Armor directly contributes to damage mitigation. There's character stats behind me. You pull this up, you can see the amount of armor and how much armor mitigation is happening, how much less damage you're taking. Interestingly enough, this 66%, what's left over then from the damage, is what your shield actually has to deal with. Now the light armor has blade mitigation and it reduces the stamina cost of your dash. While the heavy armor has light dart mitigation, minus on blade mitigation, so you'd actually take more damage, concussive mitigation, and heavy dart mitigation. So if you actually get shot at, you would take less damage, on top of the less damage you anyways take from the armor, which makes your shield then even more efficient. Now you would think as a melee user, less blade damage is good, and less stamina cost while dodging also. Whereas the less stamina cost is actually correct. The blade mitigation makes 0 sense, because you never get hit by a blade. If someone tries to strike you, you're gonna just counter them and then stab them yourself. Or you're gonna dash out of their hit. And even if you wear full heavy gear, it wouldn't matter. You could still dance around 5 different melee characters. Hell, one parries everyone if they're standing right in front of you. It is quite ingenious. And when it actually comes down to the dash stamina cost, yes, it gets more expensive when you're using heavy armor. But on the other side, if you invest in the Swordmaster, you also have more maximum stamina than ever before. And with a disciplined breathing technique, your stamina recovery rate is increased. While you also, with optimized hydration, can have an even bigger hydrated stamina bonus. Ergo, you could run around like a complete powerhouse tank as a melee user, while you then also mitigate light darts, heavy darts, and concussive damage very well. And have the highest level of armor mitigation anyways. Because what's going to do damage to you as a melee character? That's going to be people shooting you while you're flitting around. I teleport behind the heavy machine gun user, try to heavy attack them, while someone with an SMG on the side is trying to blast me. Guess what? More armor is going to help me that I can get more hits in while hitting. And most importantly, the heavy armor doesn't actually make you slower or influence how much stamina it takes for you to hit. You use up the same amount of stamina hitting with heavy armor as with light armor. So it's really just down to the dashing. And if you can mitigate more damage, you have to dash less. The only reason to actually dash is someone tries to heavy attack you, you get stunned, staggered, or someone hit you with a drill shot that you then dash out again. Which means that I more or less left light armor behind as soon as I was able to craft myself iron gear. I had to choose between the Kirib Scout armor and the Kirib Heavy armor. Guess what? It was the Kirib Heavy armor. In the Steel era, Slaver Scout armor or Slaver Heavy armor, you get the drift. But you shouldn't actually choose the full heavy armor, because that's not as good as going for a mix of these two. So I have a light helmet. This light helmet gives me some dash stamina cost reduction, still good armor values, but then also energy mitigation, fire mitigation, poison mitigation. Haha, because we have the Syndicate set happening. By the way, if you don't know where to get the Syndicate set, we just have a video for you before this one who shows you all the MK 5.5 gear. Then I wear heavy chest and a heavy pants, because heavy chest and pants are the pieces that give you the most armor. And then again, light gloves and light boots. This creates an interesting mix with a huge amount of armor mitigation, while I still have dash stamina cost reduction in a meaningful way, with a little bit more dash stamina cost, and also tons of light dart and heavy dart mitigation. Together with the biggest shield you can have, MK5, and the MK5 power supply. If I had a unique one, that would be even better. To make your power supply work even more, You really want to get the Plantologist unlocked because the Plantologist will give you more maximum power and it can even increase your power regeneration. Which leads to me being able to stand here and just soak up their shots. That mitigation doing numbers. Just walk up to him and then just destroy them. Or lats. And if you're playing ranged over melee, you definitely want to have that mix of heavy and light, if not full heavy armor, because every single time you shoot, your shield goes away. That's the thing about Dune. Shooting means no shield. Melee means consistent shield up. Therefore, melee has the biggest damage mitigation of them all, while you're rather vulnerable when you're shooting and you kind of want to do some corner peeking stuff. Now, what about the other two armor things that you could go for? And those are your stillsuits. And here we have to differentiate between armored and non-armored stillsuit. This is the mercenary stillsuit, a Fremen stillsuit mask with duraluminum fittings made to withstand many expeditions. 61 armor value, heat protection. Not actually useful. That seems pretty damn weak, considering that my Sentinel helmet has 157 armor, dash stamina cost reduction, energy mitigation, everything, right? The chest piece, for example, giving us 152 armor here. Good heat protection, but and heat protection isn't even needed. That being said, the chest piece also gives you the catch pocket size so you can store sweat and drink from it. Now, the second kind of stillsuit would be armored stillsuit. This one is duraluminum, mercenary. And then we have the Saturnine stillsuit garment. This is also duraluminum, but it is a so-called armored stillsuit, because this one now has actually 400 armor. Yeah, that's triple almost of what the mercenary stillsuit has. Same goes here, the gloves are at 118, while the mercenary is sitting at 46. That's a huge difference, which means I could actually take the stillsuit garment chest piece, or the Shadred stillsuit, which is also an armored one, but also aluminium. Notice, slightly less armor. It's actually crafted here in this case. And use it instead of my chest and my pants, which would lose me 600 armor. Quite some damage mitigation. So we're 8% down. And no more light dart mitigation, heavy dart mitigation, that kind of stuff. But what we would get is the actual water tank inside of our body with a chest piece alone, while still having a helmet, which I in this case would change for a heavy helmet and then keep my light gloves and my light boots. That would give me around a 60% armor mitigation, and while discovering, I would create water for myself and wouldn't have to worry about things. So that's a way how you could mix and match stuff. Obviously later, for the deep desert, for MK6. We're not playing around with the stillsuit anymore. The stillsuit is pretty much something I would use while you're leveling, while you're getting to this point, because in the normal world, if you have a stillsuit chest and then heavy armor pieces around your body, you're going to be more than able enough to destroy everything with a Shiga Wire Claw, with your knee jumps, with your teleporting behind them on the behind the shadows Bene Gesserit stuff. Or if you really want to use guns, shoot them before they can shoot you. Because while you level, while you get to aluminium, while you get to the deep desert, not everyone has shields. Later though, everyone has shields. Now you're going to ask, Pony, aren't there cool equipment pieces which help me do more damage? Some unique effect that makes me more powerful? I haven't found anything yet. I tops found the Reaper gloves, which gave me more Do Reaper yield. That's not actually bad, but I'm not going to carry them all the way around for 10% more yield. You could technically keep them in your base to then put them on. The coolest thing, I pulled out MK6 loot, and I know it also exists as MK5, MK4 loot, are the Tabor soft step boots. They say each step in these boots seem to melt into the sand, reducing the vibrations that attract the worm. Now I only need 53 spice melange to make this. Yikes. It's going to take a long while until I get that one. But hey, they exist. To wrap it up, for any piece of content melee-wise, a mix of heavy armor and light armor. If you're doing shooting, I've been faring well with complete heavy armor. If you want to go for exploration while leveling, mix in a stillsuit chest, not more, just a chest piece. The other parts are not actually needed. and always wear the highest shield possible. That being said, until I got my Dur Aluminium armor, I wore an MK2 shield. And it kind of worked, but I wouldn't recommend it. Get a better one. Now, if you're looking for the perfect base location or where to get all this gear that we just taught, blueprints, cool stuff, check it out and have a fantastic good day.